So 1/4 of footy left here at Donvale as the ball is thrown up, and Zach Haig, who's had a storming game in the ruck, gets a first tap out of the last quarter, and it's bobbling around, taken forward and kicked inside 50. Going round there is Murphy, Nicholas Murphy, hooking it back across goal, but he's off target. I think he maybe missed everything.
Yep.
He has kicked it out of bounds, Nicholas Murphy. Just the angle just a bit too great and couldn't quite bring it up enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, has no right foot, Nick Murphy.
Big shout out to the Donvale supporters crew in the club robes listening to this broadcast on high volume.
Yep, good
They
on
certainly
them.
are. Went over to get something to eat before, and
They're keeping up with your diva-ish demands, Alana.
Well, we are going to get our coffee, so we're all pretty pleased. As the ball comes out towards the wing, and it's nicely marked here by Travaskis.
My diva-ish demands that have looked after everybody. I see.
But Donvale back in possession of the ball. They go inside 50, but it's but it's bobbling around and it's knocked away, and in fact it'll be out of bounds in the end, I think, or through for a behind.
One behind.
One behind it is.
It's got to be an advantage having a girl on the team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get coffees.
So Tom Connell to bring the ball back in for Whitehorse. Of course, they're trailing currently by 55 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Connell favours the western side, which has been the majority route all day for both sides. Hand pass comes over the top, and the Pioneers have the link-up runners through Duclos. Sent a chip ball towards the centre wing position, and Newton is thrust over the boundary line where we find our boundary riders. Well, they're doing it once again because they're moving it towards the corridor where Purcell takes the mark, looks in the direction of the running forward, of course, there in Ancona. It comes up towards the centre half forward position. Whitehorse have the numbers, still the ball in dispute. Good tackle affected there deep inside the defensive 50 by Hockey, and we'll have a bounce deep in the forward pocket for the Donvale Football Club.
Yeah, coming to this fat side is certainly opening up the play a lot more for Donvale, and you think that maybe Whitehorse would have adjusted to that and gone, well, if they're doing it, then it's obviously the way to play this ground, and that hasn't
Just going to say that I think if they haven't worked it out going into the fourth
so
quarter,
much.
they probably won't. It's been put through for a goal.
Is that Rouser there?
It's Haig.
Jeez.
doing it all today.
Straight out of the ruck, fantastic stuff. Let's just watch the replay as it comes to Haig just snapping it almost, well, in the blink of an eye. We hardly could see that, but it's gone through. So Zach Haig, he's had a storming day in the ruck, and he's now added a goal to his day as well. Fantastic stuff.
Duclos tried hard, but Haig certainly has lowered his colours in most contests this afternoon.
Having said that, I think Dylan has probably been the lesser of the ruckman in the contest.
Dylan's done his 10-minute crash bash. He's done the job.
Back in the middle, Donvale continuing on their dominance as a scrimmage, and no one can extricate it from the pack. Good tackle applied there as Haig tries to force the ball forward. A chain of hand passes still in the middle, lie built. Taken to ground, a couple of Pioneers lie on top of him and dig the knees in as well. Just a sneaky little D, and we'll have a secondary bounce.
I love the way Donvale players attack the ball with, it's
Vigor.
maniacal, really.
Yeah, a lot of vigour there, that's for sure. Duclos wins the tap. It bobbles around the centre wing position, or centre field. Over the top of the ball is formed for the Pioneers, and a tackle affected by Newton. We'll have yet another bounce in the centre.
I was going to say, I don't think it matters if Duclos won every single hit out today.
No.
The way that the Donvale midfield brigade have just totally dominated those clearances, anyone could win a hit out, and Donvale will still win the ball.
So the Vales move it off centre half back, kick into the running direction of Ancona. The bounce was a little fickle for him. Still he paddles it into his advantage. Has a little bit too much speed for his opponent in Blythman. Still he goes Ancona. Hand pass over the top. It's inside 50 now in the pocket. Grocott can shoot towards goal outside of the boot. And he's off target, only a minor score. So 11-12-78 Donvale leading Whitehorse 2-4-16. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Let's cross boundary side.
Olga didn't actually get involved in that piece of play, guys, but he just drifted off the ball up there, and no one from Whitehorse has followed him. And during the game, no one's gone to Liardi or Coughlin all day, and they're so destructive.
So in the middle, as Brett Beston accepts his coffee.
Thank you very much to the Donvale people for looking after this.
Absolute stars they are.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And the ball will be bounced at right half forward for the Donvale Footy Club, who would be very, very pleased with their side's performance today. 52 points the margin in their favour as the ball is trickled across the line after a kick off the ground from the stoppage.
Yeah, big day for the Donvale Footy Club. Big luncheon this afternoon. So hello to all those people in the club rooms. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast.
Tap one in the ruck contest by Haig. Forced it to ground level. Chance now for the Vales as they move it inside 50. A loose hand pass comes in the direction there of Foley. It's forced to ground level. Good tackle applied there by Travaskis for the Pioneers. And eventually the ensuing hand pass goes askew and we'll have a ball in 45 metres out from the Donvale goal. Western side of the ground as the sun glistens through the reserve.
And Brash, if you were Matt Fluff right now, you wouldn't want Donvale starting to overpossess and trying to get a bit too cute and fancy at this late point in the game. You'd want them to really just go hammer and tong and try and build on that lead.
Most definitely.
Well, the ensuing kick from the stoppage was intercepted by Withers for Donvale. It's centre wing, sends a probing ball inside 50. The Pioneers have brought the extra man back to cover the hole. That was Travaskis. He dropped the mark. Still a chance for the Vales. Diving in over the football there was Cotsford. Couldn't quite take it. And the whistle has been blown. It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Pioneers deep in their defensive pocket. And they can relieve the tension, which has certainly been building up all afternoon.
So Thomas Connell switches play. He's been fair. He's been battling along for most of the day. Jess Hockey now sends a little short kick up. Nicely marked by Mitch Ward. Got to get something going, the Pioneers. Can they do that? That's a nice kick, and it's marked well. In fact, beautifully marked by Ward. That's Newton, who wheels around and goes. The next kick's the one, nicely bit, and Padbury, who's touched the ball probably for, well, it can't be any more than half a dozen times, surely. He's been so quiet today. As the ball kicked in field, opportunity now is Hunter. This has been probably their best period of play. Marcus Tippett now will take the mark.
Well, he's hardly touched the ball either today, too.
He has. He's been very quiet, but he'll go back and have a shot at goal. Although he doesn't look like he's backing himself.
I don't think he can kick the distance.
He's going to have a crack. I think you'll probably find that he'll try and centre it. He sends it goalward, but it's going to come up way short, and it'll be marked comfortably back there as we go boundary side.
Yeah, you spoke about Andrew Padbury not really touching the ball. There was a massive ironic cheer from the Whitehorse Pioneers bench just to my right when he gathered that one.
Had a ridiculously quiet day as the ball comes in field, and it's Marcus Tippett. Good strong body, but it's fallen for the Donvale side. Foley, who's
Great
played,
hand pass.
gets it away. It's bouncing down, and Ancona's got a bit of space. He fumbles initially, plays it to himself. And what have we got?
Holding the man.
Holding the man, a free kick. So probably a little bit harsh. It didn't look to be too much in that, but Ancona's got it, and he'll go back. Just taking his time, sizing up the options. With a scoreboard in the background, he sends it into the middle of the ground. Can he find a target? Goes straight over the top to nobody. And there looking for it was Grocott. And it's fallen for Coughlin, and Coughlin shoots for goal, but I think he's missed, has he?
Yep.
He has. Just, I'll tell you what, if the Donvale side had kicked straight this afternoon, this score would be outrageously out of control.
I've got to say, though, I know Derek Shaw said that they've, to go out there and try and win the quarter. Well, I'll tell you what, they're not going to win the quarter with a 10-man back line.
So wait for the ball to be retrieved from beneath the fence. Certainly has been a static forward line for the Whitehorse Pioneers. Only 2 goals to their name thus far in this game, and we're starting to reach the 10-minute mark of the final term. It's going to be interesting ramifications here. Donvale will be going out of this match as premiership favourites in Division 4, that's for sure.
Well, 2 big scalps in 2 weeks, Damo. Coldstream last week and then the Pioneers today. So
Yes, Donvale certainly want to.
Yeah, I think they'd have to retrieve the spare football here because the ball's bounced over the neighbourhood fence, and they're trying to. A couple of the Donvale supporters behind the goals are jumping over the neighbourhood fence. Not sure why.
Well, the ball's worth $100, mate. Of course, you want $110 sharing in your possession.
Is that how much they cost these days?
Yeah.
Certainly is.
Anyway, the mark taken at centre half forward by Wignall for Donvale. Spearing ball inboard. It's a good option in the central corridor, and the mark has been taken 45 metres out from goal, directly in front. And Donvale will look to increase their margin of dominance on the scoreboard. Of course, the man Nicholas Murphy has figured prominently on the goal-scoring list. He'll have a shot here once again for goal number 5. Nick Murphy. 45 metres out, directly in front. Distance won't trouble him, but the accuracy will. Minus score. 11-14-80 Donvale to Whitehorse 2-4-16 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Reaching the halfway point of the final term. Let's head boundary side. Yeah,
just about those balls going to the neighbour fence. I've stolen many a footy in my younger days from Churnside Park Footy Club, so I'm sitting on about $1,000 at home, I think.
You can sell them on eBay, mate.
Inflation doing me wonders.
I was going to say, I know they're expensive when you...
I'm glad you've got a microphone in your hand too, BWS.
So we're back into the another stoppage as the ball goes up. It's been tapped down, nicely roved by Newton. Comes out again, but it's still a little bit untidy, but it falls for the Whitehorse Pioneers. That was McDougall. Trying to find some, it's been cut off beautifully though. That's good work by Withers. He hasn't had a lot of the ball today, but he's done well when he has had it. Now here's an opportunity for Rorsa. Rorsa goes towards goal and it will be knocked away, and in fact Whitehorse Pioneers will bring it out of defence. The kick out towards that far side once again. Matt Sutherland couldn't keep it in, and the ball is once again out of play.
This coffee is delicious.
It's pretty decent, isn't it? I was just thinking that.
That should be a new segment aside from the burgers, the coffee.
There's a good way to get some coffees given out each week.
We'll have to get our media manager Dan Sensick to sponsor that as it comes out. Running through the middle is Liardi, getting onto his left foot. Can he put this one through? He can. Beautiful goal by Liardi.
It's a vibro contender.
That is a magnificent goal. He got the handball, Liardi, and he just sized up the opportunity. Didn't have anyone in front of him. There's the great handball off to him. And he just sized it up, got onto that left foot. He was running away from goal, so he had to kick back almost across himself. And that's a beautiful kick, crashing into the trees down the back of the ground. And Matt Liardi has his first of the day.
And we've just seen it time and time again, just that link-up handball. They're really sharp, they're really crisp. It's not floating in the air, it's not going behind them, it's going to exactly where they need to go.
That's our boundary side.
Great goal by Liardi there. Certainly a vibro contender goal today. I tell you what, I saw Liardi. He's got personalised number plates on his Commodore out the back of the club. He's double parked. He knows that he's an important man down at this club as well. And I tell you what, you guys giving mentions to the coffee van and getting coffees. I should have been doing this for the bar from a long time ago, but there's a goal gone through.
Yeah, Rorsa has kicked a goal. The wind got behind that one from outside 50. And that also could be a contender for the Vibromania goal of the day. That really did carry with the win. And Donvale continue on their merry way here at Donvale Reserve. They move on the scoreboard to increase their big margin over the Whitehorse Pioneers, who are, of course, the second on the table. And the margin is blowing out to magnitude proportions now.
Not if it was a beer, he wouldn't.
VIP parking for him as Dylan wins the hit up. Beautifully done and rove nicely by Sam Coughlin, who gets it forward. Plenty of players there, and it's been pulled to ground, and they're fighting hard for it as that man Murphy. 5 goals to...
It's just a walking yellow card at the moment.
So the kick goes out towards half-back. Fighting across there, going in nicely was Withers, who got the contest. Ball comes out. Beautiful work, and it's Ancona who has the ball. He's had a fair game today, gets the ball inside, and Angeli. It goes to ground, and they're fighting for it was Jones, and the umpire's whistle goes, and it's a free kick to Whitehorse.
25?
And 25, in fact.
Yeah, he just decided that he didn't want to hand the ball back properly.
Very soft indeed, but the Whitehorse Pioneers will take it. I'm sure they haven't had too many things to cheer about today. That's an awful kick, though. They don't really take advantage of it, and in the end... That's terrible play.
Yeah, well, that sums up your day, doesn't it? I reckon that, that really does show what it's been like for Whitehorse today.
So the ball comes in. Dylan gets front spot. He's on the ground. He might have got one in the mush there, but now it's the Pioneers who get it, and they thump it downfield, and it's bouncing into no man's land. Going back there is Padbury.
Good tap.
He's auditioning for the next edition of The Invisible Man. He's been so quiet today.
Through no fault of his own, though.
Absolutely
You've got to have
not.
people get it down to him. So
Absolutely not.
I don't want him to be the whipping boy for not getting possessions when the midfield haven't done their job for supply.
No, definitely not whipping him, but he has had a very quiet day by his own high standards as we have another ruck contest. Up it goes. And a strange old ruck. The ball actually hit the ground there, I think, as it came out. And it was Liebelt who had it for a moment, but the umpire's whistle's gone, and we'll have a free kick to the Whitehorse Pioneers. A little short kick comes in across the ground, but it's cut off beautifully by Ancona, who's been one of the best today for Donvale. Chips it out wide, finds Withers. Withers just steadying the play down, looking for that next option as he looks downfield. It's not a lot on at the moment. In the end, he kicks a scrubby kick along the ground. That's the worst kick of the day by a mile.
Yeah, but he found a person.
He did. Now it falls for Hayward. Hayward goes down the line, but great work. Good challenge in there by Connell. Thomas Connolly's been pretty handy today back there. He's tried hard all day. Infield to Tippett. Tippett looks around. Tippo are the calls from his men, but Tippo's taking an age to get rid of it, and he finally does. And that's a decent kick, which finds Noah Khan. but still so slow. No idea why they're taking such a long time. They really need to get on with it, and they finally do get it forward, but that's going to be
5 on 1.
Going to be cut off really easily. And back there is Withers.
Good kick.
He's really come into the game in this last quarter, and indeed the third quarter as well. Good kick finds McCormick. Jake McCormick goes forward. Good strong mark, but it's fallen for the Pioneers. Great tackle comes in there. They're just taking too long to get rid of the ball, and Ancona's in there as well. Tippett takes it and thumps it, but it's...
That was intelligent kick there.
Almost a comedy of errors there as the ball is hoisted forward. I don't think that was too intentional. Right over the top. Spinning nicely in the tackle is Padbury.
Well
Padbury,
done.
a beautiful play by Padbury, and he may have his first note. He's off target.
Boundary.
So Padbury a minor score as we go boundary side.
5 minutes, as much as it was a comedy of errors, it probably epitomised what the game's been like. Whitehorse just dilly-dallying on the ball, just taking that split second longer to move the ball forward, whereas Donvale get it and they're straight away moving forward, just opening up the game.
So the Vales will bring it out of their defensive zone. Rawser looks out wide to right half back. Mark taken by Liardi, who kicked one of the Vibro goal of the day contenders just 5 minutes ago. Looks towards the outer wing. The bounce favoured Grocott. He couldn't quite take it in the end. He fumbled, and as a consequence, he loses possession, forces a tackle, and will have a bounce deep on the outer wing, western side of Donvale Reserve as the wind picks up again.
Thing is, with the win, it certainly brings a lot of game plans unstuck too.
Indeed it does. Dylan won the tap and effected a tackle to boot, and he's getting physical
It's
again.
on again. Dylan and Connell over there, I think, on the ground.
That's their boundary side.
Laid a very good tackle and then just thought he'd just keep going on it, and he's given away another free kick. These 10 minutes, it's just like letting a ball out in a china shop and see what he can do.
Thanks for the update, Matt.
Matt's on Dylan watch.
He is.
He's on Dylan watch, yep.
Well, in the meantime, the Pioneers have the chance to look towards the fat side of the ground as they switch play laterally. Mark taken by Ferguson. Looks towards the centre wing position. Again, the kick misses the target. The bounce evades Ancona, and as a consequence, the Pioneers can move it forward through a chain of hand passes. Clydesdale eventually gives the hand pass away, and they send a probing ball inside the 50, but again, Donvale have the numbers deep. Falling to ground there was Bush. That could prove costly because a kick off the ground went through for a behind in favour of the Pioneers. McDougall missing the target there. That's a minor score. They move on to 2-5-17, trailing Donvale 13-14-92 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
As I was driving here today, I did think it could have been a 100-point margin, but I was hoping that it wasn't going to be, and it's
You
not
did
far
say
off
that
it.
before the game.
Yeah.
So Donvale bring it back in. The long kick, they decide to go straight down the centre of the ground, and it's going to fall for them too as it lands in the hands of Hayward. Now it's been knocked forward. Looking for the mark back there. It was Purcell? Yep, can't miss that body as he turns around.
That's goal. That's play of the day.
And that's a magnificent goal.
You can lock that one in.
As he wheeled around, the kick was a bit of it was a funny old one. And Purcell, that was a 2-on-1, but he did brilliantly, and he rove to kick, his own tap, and then spun around and put it through, and that is definitely...
Yeah, lock that one in. That's a goal of the day, Vibromania, goal of the day, that one.
Absolutely, and he's absolutely delighted, Purcell, and why wouldn't he be too? That was fantastic stuff.
Sensational stuff.
Yes, the Vibromania goal of the day. You could lock that one in. Jack Purcell, 4 goals to his name. That's their boundary side.
I tell you what, that was certainly coast-to-coast football at its best there with the arms, with the goal with Purcell. I tell you what, the Vibro goal of the day, you get a deep tissue massage. I think the 3 players in that instant there, one gets a leg done each, and maybe someone gets a back rub as well. They can share that one around.
There are no other types of massages you can think of.
Damo, keep it clean.
No, but they're in Thailand.
This is G-rated as the Whitehorse Pioneers bring it out again.
Don't worry, Damo. I've booked him for some aromatherapy.
I am the voice of I am the voice of reason, trying to keep this commentary in order as the ball comes out, and it's been knocked forward. It's degenerating into a bit of a farce at the moment. As the Whitehorse Pioneers take it into the contest, and Rouser is there, and he takes the player in the tackle, and we'll have a ball.
Now getting serious
the opportunity
again.
was there.
I actually think, I know Padbury hasn't had much of an influence on the game, but I think Cotsford's done a pretty fair job with a bit of help from his friends this afternoon in the back line.
Yeah, definitely. He's given away a fair bit of height there too, isn't he?
Yeah.
So it was Thomas Connell. I reckon he's had a fair game today, and a beautiful mark taken as well Back there by
Sutherland.
It is, yep. He's had a terrific game as well. Chris Sutherland, a little short kick out there as they look to build it up from the back again. That's Jones. Now he finds Hayward.
Oh, expected someone on his fat side, but...
Hayward just chipping it around. Hasn't been a lot of play at the fat side. It's a fair point, Alana, as Sutherland now. Chris Sutherland. Now he goes long, looking for a target. There's Dylan again. Sort of knocked out of his hands, but it may well work out for the Donvale side. They've got plenty of players back there, but getting back to save the day is Webb. Caleb Webb, and they run off half back. Little short kick, well, long kick actually down the line, and the mark is taken. So McDougall.
He's been good for Whitehorse today.
Yeah, he has. He's been one of their better players. Decides to go across the ground now, switching it out to this fat side, and that's Clydesdale.
Yep. He's had a
Clydesdale,
try.
he's certainly been horsing around for most of the day. As a little kick goes down the line. Going back down, it'll be a nice hand flick off to Bush. Bush gets it forward, but it's going to be cut off easily. That's not a great kick indeed, and the Whitehorse Pioneers will be able to bring it back. Nice mark taken by McDougall. Chris McDougall.
With ease range.
I don't think he can't kick the goal.
He's not confident. He's looking around for someone to kick to. Taking an age to get rid of it, but he decides to just pump it long and see what happens, and up they go, but there's no clean mark taken, and it's fallen nicely for Trakuja, and he brings it out now. Jake McCormack, little chip out there.
That was too easy then. That was way too easy.
Oh.
Sam Coughlin.
Our mate Padbury put absolutely zero forward pressure on there.
So
either.
Coughlin gets the kick forward, looking for Sutherland, Matty Sutherland. Knocked down, but it's fallen again for the Pioneers, and there's Clydesdale again on the gallop. As he gets it across to McDougall, Chris McDougall. Plenty of passing around, or plenty of kicks for the the Whitehorse side, but not necessarily making a lot of progress. Newton's kick was, and that'll be a free kick surely.
Well, he made him earn it too.
Yeah, Khan it was. McDougall's kick to Khan, but he copped a knock in the back, and the little chip out wide finds Newton. Newton turns around. It's almost slow motion stuff, really.
I think he's tried hard too, but I think he's just been, he hasn't had enough mates.
There's been plenty of tries, Brash, on this Whitehorse Pioneers side, but they've just been outclassed today, and that's an awful kick, and it's gone out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in.
What does Derek Shaw say to his players after this game? Can they just sort of forget that they ever played this game, or do they have some serious issues to think about here?
I reckon they try to forget it. If I was coaching them, I'd say let's pretend this one never happened. Let's regroup, refocus, and we'll get back onto our small little oval, which we play a lot better, and be positive.
Well, there won't be too many small ovals though come grand final time or finals time, as the ball is locked in to the Whitehorse forward line. Let's head to the boundary line.
Do I go against you, Damo? But I'm pretty sure Mitcham is the finals ground for D4, and that's probably one of the smaller ones in the comp.
I don't know. Is Whitehorse smaller than Mitcham? We'd have to do
It'd be smaller, but it's definitely Mitcham's definitely smaller than Donvale.
Get the roller out.
And it's more oval, Whitehorse.
So Connell on
Looks
top
like
of
the batteries have run out there from the...
Someone hasn't paid the power bill.
Codler kick into the forward pocket. Magnificent mark. It's that man again. Jack Purcell using the body and taking the mark on the slide. That's a magnificent effort. And he can go back and shoot for goal number 5.
And speaking of Mitcham, he knows how to play at Mitcham's ground, doesn't he?
He does.
Mm-hmm.
So there wouldn't be any fears for him.
No.
So Jack Purcell be kicking from a very acute angle, about 30 metres out.
The one thing that you do know now that the other sides in Division 4 need to, they're going to have to bring a bit more of a physical contest to the game as well if they're going to match it with Donvale.
Well, Purcell stabs at it, but he's put it through for a major to match his number. That's 5 goals on the board for Jack Purcell, and Donvale move on to 15-14, 104. They're annihilating Whitehorse, 2-6-18 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
You're absolutely right, Brash. Donvale have just bullied everyone that they've played against this year in that midfield, and I'm sure that every side's got that intention to go out there and try and match it or be as physical as they can, but it's whether they can actually do it and sustain it for 4 quarters will be the ultimate question with that.
Cross boundary side.
Just on that, will any teams really have 2 key defenders that can go to Murphy and Purcell, because they just continue to kick bags of 5 week after week?
No.
So Hay gets beaten to the tap on that occasion, but it falls for Liardi. Liardi gets it out now as an opportunity for Ancona. He's played particularly well today, Ancona. Quick transfer of handballs down that far side, and the long kick forward. There's Purcell again, and he's mark! Jack Purcell, you little beauty.
Oh, gee.
That's an absolutely stunning mark.
Jack Purcell's putting on an absolute clinic here
That is
for
incredible.
us
Look
this
at
afternoon. What a gem of a
Two
mark.
Whitehorse Pioneers. He juggles with it.
Oh.
He gets it on the second go, and that is unbelievable.
That's like Winston Abraham from 1998.
That is magician stuff. It really is.
I'm amazed you can remember that far back, Damien Watson.
I think the look on his face was priceless too.
He
It was
smiled.
almost as if, did I just take that? It was just quite surprising.
It was a wry smile there as he came down.
So Purcell with a chance to level up with his old mate Murphy with 6 goals apiece. Having a bit of a shootout they are
There's
this
another
afternoon,
one.
and there it is. So half a dozen apiece for Murphy and Purcell, as they did last week. They had something of a shootout against Coldstream, and that's another one.
That's 3 for him in the quarter.
And Matt, just to go back to your question earlier, I honestly don't think two key defenders are going to have to go against this Donvale forward line. I think they might need to play some kind of zone defence, play off the body, because you're not going to be able to out-body Purcell for 4
you're
quarters.
right.
So play a few metres off, watch the ball, and try and intercept it before he gets to him, because he's going to have no one to play up on, and it's going to be really hard for him to take those grabs.
Jack Purcell, with half a dozen goals to his name, extends the margin further for Donvale, and again they win the clearance. Good hand pass coming out of the pack there from Haig. And eventually the umpire has blown the whistle. Was it a throw? It's going the way of Whitehorse, and the recipient there will be Clydesdale. There's been a try for Whitehorse this afternoon. Clydesdale at centre half back for the Pioneers. No real option, so he goes inboard to the centre circle. Mark taken by Fawn. Is improved in the second half, chips the pass forward, mark taken by Davia Patako, looks out wide towards the northern wing, taken there on the charge by Newton, a high ball towards centre half forward, but again no one there for Whitehorse in the air, and the mark taken in the end by Sutherland for Donvale. Looks towards the centre wing position, but chipping into intercept there is Clydesdale again.
About possession number 20 in this quarter for him.
Indeed. Clydesdale and Newton combining, those two have probably improved in the second half, and I give the boy a rap, and he's kicked it out of the full. So there's the final siren, and the Division 4 top of the table encounter sees a big gap between 1 and 2. Donvale 16-14, 110, massacring the Whitehorse Pioneers 2-6-18. It's a 92-point win to the Vales. They'll be happy with that.
Well, what can you say? It's as comprehensive a performance that you'd want to see this afternoon. Donvale clearly at this stage are the best side in Division 4 based on this performance this afternoon. They have